Welcome into the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, broadcasting live inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge in Lake Charles. NFL action already underway as the Bears are playing the Jags. Go Bears. Dub Bears.
Go Bears.
I think we all got action on
Bear
the Bears
down.
right now. Bear down. Claw.
I don't.
Sean, you also have action?
No,
I know I got action.
I don't
Joe's
have
got
action. I'm just a supportive friend.
Mims.
I'm just
Thanks.
a supportive friend.
Joe always has action on the Bears.
Yeah.
It's in his
Emotional
soul.
action.
Yeah, emotional action on the Bears.
Maybe depressional action half the time.
Seasonal depressional action.
Which is just fall for me. Notre Dame and
Hey,
Chicago.
Notre Dame beat Stanford
That's
big
true.
yesterday.
That's true. All right, so we were here yesterday, obviously watching the UTOU, the Red River Shootout rivalry game, whatever. It was a lot of fun to be here inside the sports book, but we got to talk about the Texans today. Matt Holland from the sports book will join us in about 30 minutes. Pedro Muniz will join us at 11:30, talking about what they got going on here at LaBerge and ESPN Bet coming up for in the near future and for Halloween, which I guess is the near future. It's in like 2 weeks, but the Texans game today. They play Drake May. We know that Joe Mixon's playing. It was reported that last night. Aaron Wilson, Schefter, they all had it, but Nico Collins out for at least the next 4 games. How are you guys feeling about today's game? This is an interesting one because it feels like they should crush Drake May, but they don't crush anyone.
No, I mean every game's been a one possession game so far, right?
Except for the Vikings game.
Well, I'm sorry. The 4 wins.
Yeah.
The 4 wins have all been by one possession.
Like
I don't
4
know.
possessions.
The line last time I checked was still 6.5. I know Matt told me before we went on he's going to take the Texans on that. I do kind of I think the Texans are going to win, but obviously no Nico. You're on the road. Patriots defense isn't terrible. It's supposed to be a little rainy. I don't know if we're going to get the blowout style points victory that Texans fans have been waiting for this year. And I don't know how Texans fans as a whole are going to handle that. I do think the Texans win, but if you're expecting it to look pretty, if you're expecting Tank and Diggs to go off and Stroud to play perfectly, I don't know if that's going to be this game. I think it's an ugly win.
Yeah, I think it's a game that it'll be comfortable for the Texans for the majority of it. It just won't look in the box score like a huge blowout, which means basically it'll be more of the same from a lot of these games. It'll be kind of like the Jags game, even though they did need a late score to win that. But maybe more the better comparison I thought of this week, basically since Drake May got announced the starter, is the Bears game from week 2, where it's a rookie quarterback making his first, or in Caleb's case, his second start behind a brutal offensive line. And this time, Drake May doesn't have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze. He has Pop Douglas and another Washington receiver. I forgot which one. Yeah, Jalen Polk. Yeah. I forgot if it was McMillan or Polk.
Pop Douglas is a name, though. It's a good name.
Yeah. It's a good name. It's also, I feel like it's an effective name to be like, the best wide receiver's name is Pop Douglas. And you're like, I know what
that's an indictment on the rest of the room.
Yes. You know what? I get it. I get what point you're making. I feel like I could tell my mom that, and she doesn't know anything about the Patriots
Pop
offense,
Douglas,
and she'd be like, so that's bad, huh?
Pop Douglas feels like the name of a guy you would play basketball against at the rec center.
Pop Douglas, yes, who wears
he wears a knee brace,
2 knee braces and insoles. Yeah, Pop Douglas also. But if you said he was like the best, he won the 1957 Heisman, I'd be like,
yeah. Pop Douglas is great.
Then served
in black
in Vietnam.
And white.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We talked about this all week, Sean. Obviously, like expectations for this game, like all week. Like, are people gonna be satisfied with this game? No. Even if they win by 35 points today, people go, well, it's the Patriots.
I think people will be satisfied, but they're not going to gain credit.
Yeah, they're not going to.
They're still going to go, but what happened in the other games? You were playing the Patriots, Drake May in his first start.
Yeah, they'll say, let me see it against a team that's competent.
It'll be the Patriots are the worst team in the NFL. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, there won't be. So all that really matters is, look, you win today's game. It is an important game just because as you chase down
every game of the schedule, Joe, is an important game.
It's true, but as you know,
in the National Football League,
as you look at conference tiebreakers, you want to win all your AFC games. As you try to get
we're already looking ahead at conference tiebreakers.
You're gonna have head-to-heads with everybody.
Are you guys scared of anyone in the AFC South?
No.
Or are you worried about the conference?
I was on record a few weeks ago
saying they'll have a head-to-head against the
I know
Chiefs,
they will. I know.
Against the Ravens, against the Bills.
Yeah.
It's true. I guess
and the Jets.
And the Jets. Yeah, I just would be shocked if this game is under the Texans won by less than 10 points in this game.
So it sounds like you're saying you're going to play Texans minus 6.5.
I have a parlay involving that. Yes.
Of course, it's a parlay. Joe, you got to quit the parlay.
Well, I feel
I don't
pretty good
know.
about the first half of it.
Yeah, and I don't know if he needs to quit parlay. As someone who hit a parlay yesterday, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
You're
needs
chasing
to.
the dragon.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
I
hard
told
not
you.
to.
I told you. Ooh, voice crack. I told you yesterday that I was going to learn my lesson. I need to learn my lesson twice. Every
Okay.
time I need to learn my lesson twice.
Okay.
Yesterday I hit a parlay. I'm back at 0. I need to learn
It's just a circle.
0
It's just
days
a
since
circle.
incident.
Plays parlay, doesn't hit it. Says I'll never do it again. Hits parlay. I'm back.
Yeah,
so
And
bad.
it
I'm
just
hot.
repeats.
All I need to see is one go in.
I mean, look, and that's
Settle down, Chef Curry.
it was funny. Like there was a guy in front of us last night. He had a long parlay, and he was like checking them off throughout the day.
That's dangerous.
And
Don't
so,
count-
so
don't
he's
count
like
'em.
he's like tracking them.
You don't
Oh,
count your
yes.
money when you're sitting at
But
the
then
table.
there was
Thank
one
you, Kenny Rogers.
there was like 2 left on the bottom, and you could tell he was stressing. I was trying to like peek over to like
see what they were.
try to see like
It
what he
wasn't
was
the guy
looking
that
for.
puked in front of us.
No,
was it?
that did
Okay.
happen last night. R.I.P. to that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to that Tigers fan. Not
he-
the only Tiger fan to
No.
puke last night.
Go Tigers.
Just the only one here at LaBerge.
Yeah, he had a rough one. I feel like if he comes in today, we'll notice it. We should give him a round of applause.
I'll salute him.
Just like,
Yeah.
welcome back.
He
but,
helped.
like,
He helped his team win.
that's
That's true. Yeah.
He didn't see it.
The Tigers were down when he left. Well, not under his own power, but he left. Yes.
He was escorted out.
He was
yes.
escorted out. Yes.
Who does the bigger day, you think? Tank or Diggs?
I have Tank anytime touchdown, so Tank.
Ooh.
I thought you had a
no, wait,
Diggs
you
one,
had
too.
Diggs. I saw your ticket.
Oh, I have Diggs anytime touchdown, so Diggs.
Hey,
I think
Sean.
it's-
Hey, Sean. You got to remember what you bet.
Yeah.
I do.
I want to say it's Tank because I mean, all off season. I mean, we heard the story about how he went to management, said draft Tank. They had the connection last year. We saw Stroud go on these off season podcasts with Micah Parsons. He's building his perfect lineup, and he's got Tank Dell as a slot receiver, his perfect slot receiver. So I want to say it's Tank, but man, Diggs has been so involved. Through the first few weeks, he had 10 catches in the Vikings game. He's got multiple games over 6 catches. Though they do have a week 2 game plan, so that'll be the interesting thing. Because I think when you're talking about replacing Nico, Diggs is not the guy that's going to replace what Nico was doing. Not in terms of the box score, but like what they're actually running on the field. I don't think Diggs is going to be running, at age 30, 31, whatever he is going to be running the deep down the field stuff that Nico is. I think that's Tank.
Yep.
So it'll be if they can hit the deep stuff, I think Tank's going to be that. Like when you look at the rest of the roster, it's not Robert Woods.
Well, he's out, right?
Oh, is he out?
I think he's out.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely not Robert Woods then. But it's not Diggs. Obviously, it's not John Mechie. I don't think it's Xavier Hutchinson. It's going to be Tank if they're going to hit the deep shots and give us the pretty offensive performance that I expected, or that we hope they will. I'm not sure if I expect it or not. Then it's going to be Tank Dell.
Yeah, I mean,
and Diggs is going to be short and intermediate. So it'll be depending on what type of game. If they're short and intermediate, it's going to be Diggs. If they're hitting deep shots, it's going to be Tank.
yeah. So right now, you're going to this game without Kamari Lassiter, without Robert Woods, without Jimmy Ward. D'Angelo Ross is going to be who's the other corner today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank goodness they're playing Drake May. When Aaron
Should I take Pop Douglas anytime touchdown?
maybe Jalen Polk,
Houston's own.
whichever one's not being guarded by Stephon Diggs. I mean,
Okay.
by
Stingley.
yes, that's who I meant. You know what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm not going to get on you for a mistake.
We're
all right?
we're getting there. Okay.
A Diggs-related mistake. I will not be upset about.
Well, I'm just so thinking about your anytime Diggs touchdown that like I might just have to go bet on it now.
I hope he plays defense too. Gets a pick 6.
Hey, no, the next Travis Hunter, Stephon Diggs.
His brother plays corner.
That's true. Not very well, but he plays
Hey.
corner. I mean, he kind of gets torched all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
But the one thing that's good about this game is the Patriots have given up over 130 rushing yards each of the last 3 weeks, and Joe Mixon's back today. That's where even
Establish it.
all these Nico out, Woods out, the injuries you have in defense, the biggest thing for today's game of why I just would expect it to be kind of easy for the Texans for most of this game is because of Joe Mixon, for me at least.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of the easy button to press against this Patriots defense, especially when you're missing Nico Collins. And for the first of the 6 quarters that Joe Mixon played, he was awesome for the first 4 of them against the Colts. And that's another run defense that, as time went on, it became less and less impressive. But you are playing an unimpressive run defense again today. So, getting Mixon back, especially for this game where it's the first game without Nico. That's very good timing for the Texans.
Do you expect Joe Mixon to come in week 1 today and just be right back where he was against the Colts? Not necessarily with the total, on his rushing
I was going to say
yards.
probably not 30 carries.
Not 30 carries for 150 yards. But I just mean as far as his overall involvement. Yeah, obviously not 30 carries, but his overall involvement of the offense. I mean, it's tough to say, well, you don't really need Joe Mixon to beat the Patriots, but you don't need to hand the ball to Joe Mixon 25 times to beat the Patriots.
But
he's coming off obviously the ankle injury. He's an older running back. How much do you really want to?
He's 28.
28's old, Sean.
He was born in 1996.
You're buying lamps. You're old. You bought an end table. You're old.
I haven't bought a lamp yet.
Okay. You're going to buy a lamp. That's an inside thing.
I'm shopping.
But I don't know how much they want to rush Joe Mixon back into full workload when you're playing the Patriots. He's coming off injury, and you got a full season to worry about with an older running back.
So the one thing I worry about with that line of thinking, though, is while yes, if you just individually make the point that you don't need Nico Collins to beat the Patriots, you don't need Kamari Lassiter to beat the Patriots, you don't need Joe Mixon to beat the Patriots. Once you are losing so many pieces,
at some point you need one of them.
Eventually you need somebody to beat the Patriots because, like you said, this is the National Football League. Those guys are pros too. This is not a Texans team that has been emphatic in any of their wins. So I do think that you don't need, and I don't expect them to use Mixon in the way they used him in week 1 with 30 carries for 150 yards. But I do expect the 5 yards a carry, like that is something that this Texans offense desperately needs, is a running back that can get that kind of production.
I think we'll see a lot of the Dare Ogunbowale stuff on third down still. That's where I think they'll
trust him on third.
Yeah,
pass protection.
Good pass protection. He's been good out of the backfield the last 2 weeks catching the ball.
Yeah.
So he's been okay at running the ball. I know that the numbers
it was under 3 a carry last week.
I know, but it looks better than the stats say.
That's
I know
the Bills,
It's the Bills, they're not.
I don't know why. I don't know why I wanted.
They weren't a good. They haven't been a good run defense.
But
they figure things out.
I think that's how they. That's how they kind of spell Mixon is like they let Dare be the third down guy. Maybe a little bit of Cam Akers, but I just don't think we're gonna see. We're not gonna see all those carries from Mixon. But I still think on first and second down when Bobby Slowick stubbornly wants to run the ball a lot,
the auto runs on first down.
I think Joe Mixon will still be getting those.
Well, he's using the Madden coach suggestion.
Yeah,
and it's just run the ball.
Affect die.
Affect die. Is Bobby Slowick calling the games off of Madden coach suggestions?
Sure,
I think we might have cracked the code there.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like the Madden coach suggestions would be better.
They throw in a quick slant every once in a while.
I think we might get more in that one. All right, it is the Bullpen broadcasting live from ESPN Bet inside LeBurge Lake Charles. We'll continue getting ready for the Texans game next year on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
The Bullpen live from ESPN Bet inside LaBerge, Lake Charles. Sportsbook starting to open up here, and people starting to get slowly let in as they check their IDs to make sure that they're allowed in. Yeah. For the first time, I saw someone got rejected yesterday.
Oh, really?
From the casino.
Wow.
Well, I mean, the guy that puked over there.
Well, no, like someone because they weren't 21.
Really?
Like, yeah, I didn't even know people would try that at a place like this.
Should we tell the story of when you and I basically just had to show our hair to get into blackjack
so last night
waited in line?
Yeah, so last night after the College Football Day ended, I guess the Kansas State Colorado game, which ended up being kind of crazy.
I was sweating. A little bit sweating in my.
We decided to go to the casino, and there was a pretty lengthy line, and Sean and I got in line. Brian said, "I don't need to." He's like, "Look at my hair.
Look at the gray hair. I'm good."
Good self scouting.
And then so he just went through, no problem,
waved along.
I'm sitting there next to Sean, and I'm like,
"Sir, yeah. Thank you."
I was just like, "I'm just gonna try it." I didn't take my hat off or anything to show my bald ass head. I just walked through, and they didn't stop me. So
sure didn't. And then
I think it's the jersey more than the hair that was hurting you.
Really?
I feel like the jersey auto makes you look younger. Assume you're younger.
And I was, for those that weren't here yesterday, I was wearing a white Texas Arch Manning jersey. So do you think it's the fact it was a college player's jersey?
Yeah.
College player jersey.
I'm wearing the jersey of someone who's 20.
Yeah, college player jersey. And I think the long hair makes you look a little bit younger, as pointed out by our waitress last night.
Yes.
But so I think it was the combination of the two.
Yes. I didn't ask the casino lady, short hair or long hair. That's something I've been doing. Is
have you asked Abigail?
No, I haven't. I haven't shown her my ID either.
Oh, that's true. All right, Monday.
But yeah, when I'm showing people my ID, and here at LaBerge, they take it seriously. They check for like 30 seconds. Brian, you won't know this, but they check they check for like 30 to 45 seconds. They're going back, they scan it, they go back, look at you, look at the card, look at you again. And during that downtime, I'm like, and on my ID, I have short hair. And so I just, short hair or long hair, which one do you prefer? And credit to Trinity for keeping it real, because everyone else said long hair, and I thought they were just being nice because I am standing in front of them with long hair.
Not like that's what you want them to say.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I don't care, honestly. But Trinity, our waitress yesterday, said short hair. So
I feel like you should start getting.
That's the backstory.
You should start being offended sometimes.
Gasp.
Just like.
Regardless of what they say.
Yes. Yeah, no matter what the answer is.
There's no right answer. Yeah. You're offended no matter what.
Yeah. Because like
see if better right now.
Yeah,
in front of me.
See if they pivot. Yeah.
No. I mean, you're fine that
how
way.
How dare you?
Yeah. I mean, I will say, how old is your license? Is it from your 16?
No, it's 2019.
Oh, okay. I said, because you definitely look older in your license than you do in your Instagram photo.
No, maybe it's 2020. Something like that.
Yeah, the first time I followed Sean on Twitter, and we'll get back to the Texans at some point. When I got this job and I was kind of snooping around and following people from the station, and I found Sean, and it was this picture from college.
Oh, when he's on the TV set?
Yeah. And then I met you, and I was very confused. Yeah. I was like, this is not
because there's no glasses, the hair's short.
Yeah,
he's dressed up in a suit.
That picture is also from 2019, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, yes.
It doesn't look like it's from 2019.
Yeah, I was like, this is not the same person that I'm supposed to be meeting.
I could have been convinced that was high school, not college.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was like freshman year of college, maybe.
No, last semester.
The Texans.
Oh, Texans, right?
They lose today. If what happens?
Drake May is awesome, and the Texans' offense isn't operational without Nico Collins, which at stretches kind of look like that.
Yeah, I think the Nico Collins. Well, I would combine the Nico Collins part with the offensive line. If the offensive line, who we were all worried because it was 3 straight games of 10+ penalties, a lot of those on the offensive line, and then last week they had the clean first half with no penalties in the first half, 6 in the second half. I think 4 of those were on the offense, and I thought the hold on Shaq Mason last week was BS. So I don't put a whole lot of blame on them. But if the offensive line regresses back to where they were really hampering the offense, putting them in bad situations, second and long, third and long. Plus now CJ Stroud doesn't have the Nico Collins bailout because it kind of feels like at times it was, Bobby Slow, auto run on first, auto run on second. Hey, it's Stroud to Nico. Let's bail the offense out and keep the ball moving. If they can't do that with Diggs and Tank in the offensive line, puts them in bad spots, I think that's a place where the Patriots defense could get to them in bad weather, keep it a low-scoring game, and possibly pull off the upset.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really like what everyone else besides Diggs does on offense. Because if Tank Dell is, I don't know, like, are we in anywhere territory where like we feel like a little Damian Pierce vibes on Tank Dell?
Oh,
no. Like second year,
like
no,
slump
I don't.
kind of thing. Yeah, no,
I'm struggling with
I strictly
Tank.
think it's need.
Yeah, because
I'm not
they don't need him.
quite there.
They don't need them when fully healthy.
Yeah,
when they're fully healthy, you got Joe Mixon, you got Diggs, he's on a 1-year deal. You got obviously Nico's your alpha. I just think they view Tank as kind of an extra piece. He's extra to the offense, not critical on a down-to-down basis.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. It's more like just like as the season goes on, like obviously like you always think a little bit about the future. Is like, okay, so Diggs doesn't come back, obviously. We
Probably
assume.
not.
Probably.
Unless he really wants to be here and take a lesser deal.
It'd have to be team friendly, yeah.
But like I'm starting to wonder about Tank as like the number 2 guy next to Nico.
I mean, we have to remember this was a guy that was on pace for
I know.
over 1,000 yards. He had 7 touchdowns in 11 games. I still think Tank. I mean, there's a reason. Look, obviously Stroud talked really highly about Nico Collins, called him the modern day Andre Johnson. But like we talked in the last segment, when Stroud was making the podcast circuit, talking with guys like Micah Parsons, he was all the NFL. He could pick 3 wide receivers, and he put Tank on his list.
Yeah,
I mean that's he loves Tank. He told the team to draft him. He wants to get involved. I fully expect when Diggs is gone, Tank goes back to a 1,000, 7-8 touchdown type receiver.
Shouldn't he have picked Collins?
If you're going to call him Andre Johnson, pick Andre, yeah.
Pick the wrong Texans wide receiver.
It's almost at this point like just with CJ, it's just like who's he going to gas up that day? Because like he loves to talk about his guys in a very very positive way. So
absolutely,
it just depends on which podcast he's doing, who he's going to pump up the most.
Is he sitting next to Tank Dell on this podcast right now?
That's true. Well, he wasn't there for the Micah Parsons.
He wasn't there. He was for the $1 million worth of game one, but
tell us.
I said what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you saw me get right past security, right? The gray hair. I have to say dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't have to.
I don't know. I feel like when you cross 40, the dollars with the Z, you're done.
To be fair, they're both in like their 50s. Those 2 guys.
Are they?
Wallow and Gilly.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're old.
I didn't check their ID.
Well, I think one of them was in jail for like 15 years. I think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure like they're not young.
Yeah.
They're not young guys. And this is such a weird
turn.
I know. This is such a weird game today for the Texans because like I just like almost have like no interest in this game.
Is it in part because the last time we were here watching the Texans, they were getting their ass kicked by the Vikings?
No, I haven't.
Does that have any place in the back of your head?
I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it.
Oh, my bad.
I think it's more the Patriots side. Like they're not good. They're boring.
And it's a guy we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? I mean, it feels like it's hard to make this case because none of their wins have been double digits. But it's just hard to see the scenario where they lose this game. It really is. I mean, the wide receivers for the Patriots are mid. They're wide receiver 2s and 3s on basically any competent team. Drake May in his first start. They're down their number 1 running back. I don't know. This would be if you were Mount Rushmore +1. Most disappointing Texans loss. If they lost today, this will go down, I think, on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, no,
+1.
we're doing same old Texans talk next week.
Oh, 100%. We're doing fraud talk.
We might be in Alex Bregman offseason talk if the Texans lost this game. I just saw this pop up from ESPN Bet. They're doing an odds boost today, +500 parlay. Not a parlay. Combined catches for Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin. The number is 21, +500.
Diggs, Godwin, and Amari Cooper?
Yeah, total.
Was 21? 7 per?
Yeah. You think Diggs? I mean, you figure Diggs might get like 10 at least.
Yeah, but Cooper's playing the Eagles. I don't know if I love that. I mean, it doesn't really matter who they're playing. He has Deshaun Watson. That's kind of the opponent
limiting.
The opponent is Deshaun Watson.
That's limiting, I would
yeah,
say.
Yeah. The opponent's not the Eagles. It's number 4.
Yeah. And Godwin.
Godwin I like because you got to figure with the history between Mike Evans facing Marshawn Lattimore that Godwin. Okay,
I
that was
forgot.
loud.
I forgot about that history.
But I mean,
I love that history.
Yeah, Lattimore. If you haven't seen it, Lattimore and Mike Evans hate each other. They're going head to head.
They basically get in a fight every time.
And Lattimore
smothers
with few exceptions. I think, if any exception, absolutely crushes Mike Evans every time.
There might have
like 2 catches.
There might have been a good game with Brady.
Maybe. I remember
had.
there was one game a couple years ago where Evans caught a touchdown, but it was like 2 catches for 3 yards. Yeah. He happened to catch a touchdown. But yeah, I think Godwin and Diggs could get you most of the way there, but I'm not feeling Amari Cooper.
Joe Flacco will be starting at quarterback today for the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, who practiced all week, will serve as the emergency number 3 quarterback.
Fire up your Colts wide receivers.
I don't know who their backup is if he's the number 3. Apparently, he just wasn't.
Sam Ellinger.
Oh, is he he's still there?
Yeah,
hook him.
He's not in the XFL yet.
No, he's a preseason legend.
I mean, I'm ready to get a Sam Ellinger Houston Roughnecks jersey.
Like, I would also buy that. Actually, might not have to buy it. I think we could just ask, and
they'd be like, hey, you want to promote us by wearing this jersey?
I'll wear it on the show every Friday.
All right, it is the Bullpen broadcasting live inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge, Lake Charles. We're joined by Matt Holland from the Sportsbook here next on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
The Bullpen broadcasting live inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge, Lake Charles. Matt Holland, assistant sportsbook GM, joins us now. What's up, man? How are you?
Another beautiful Sunday, ready to go.
So these London games. What's your feel like on just betting on them in general? Is that a stay away from you when you see it? Because it's 8:30. The travel stuff's all weird. What's your view on the London games?
Tread lightly. I think there's value in any game if you look in the right spots, but for the most part, teams play a little bit poorly. Like, it's one of those weird things. I think this week is one of those poor performance type games from both teams. Whereas I think next week with Jacksonville being there a second week, I would expect better numbers out of Jacksonville. So just like anything in sports betting, pick your spots.
Yeah, that's the only thing I like about the London games from like a handicapping perspective is the second Jaguars game there, where that feels like more of a true home game because they're there a little bit longer. They're more, and now at this point, they're probably used to it. They're used to the travel. Most of the guys on the team. So that's the only ad. But like you said, the first one, I just
yeah, you have a rooting interest in it, obviously. So I mean, you have a better feel for the Bears and everything else like that. But as far as like when I saw that game being played, I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, I stay away completely from London games. It's one of the, I mean, when they first started, it's, you know, for a couple of years, it was like the unders were like a lock every single time. And then that started to change a little bit.
Yeah, for years they didn't have the travel down.
Yeah.
And so bad planning, bad management, and the players are all out of sorts whenever the game's being played. So, I mean, they've gotten better at it over the years. And it seems more in line with like general over-under spreads for regular games.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's one of those things where like it's fun. I'm curious what the NFL does next. I know they're talking about Ireland and France and all these different places where they can go, but I
saw the thing where Goodell has opened up the window for the Super Bowl to be played in another country.
That would be crazy.
And I heard that and I was like, I think we're going a step too far. That needs to stay home.
It's one thing to have Jags Bears in week 6. It's another thing to have the Super Bowl played in London. Yeah,
that's a little bit much.
Everyone having to travel. Like I know no one cares about all the media having to travel for that and stuff.
Well, that's a big thing.
Crazy, yeah.
I mean, that's part of the Super Bowl hype is the media circus that goes along with it for 2 weeks. And exactly, and and that's all. And a lot of the Super Bowl is all corporate. So you're almost outsourcing all those the corporate deals and everything else that goes along with it. I just feel like it's a logistical nightmare. I just rather keep that game here.
Yeah, I know they're talking about that stuff. Even like I don't know if you watch wrestling at all, but they've talked about like WrestleMania going overseas as well. And I'm like, why? Like
no,
I don't need that. I don't even like when stuff's on the West Coast because it starts at 9 o'clock. I don't want to be going to the other.
Your East Coast bias is showing right now.
Yeah. When you look at what was last weekend like? When you have 5 upsets in college football,
it was fun.
Yeah, like it's got to be like chaos in here. When something like that's going on.
We talked a little bit off air, and it was actually kind of a bad weekend for the book because a lot of our college players are always playing the dogs. But from a sheer entertainment standpoint, it was fantastic. It was just cool because nobody is actively rooting for Vanderbilt as much as they're actively rooting against Alabama.
Especially in this room.
It's kind of coincides with like March Madness. Whenever you have that one window where a 10's beating a 7, a 2 is on the ropes, a 3 is on the ropes, everybody starts unanimously just kind of rooting for the underdog. And it just kind of felt like the entire day it just kept going. Now, if Miami had if Cal had held on against Miami, that'd have been true, just pure chaos. But in that type of environment, it's fun, especially when it's none of the local teams are involved in that chaos. Because I guarantee you, if LSU was playing that week, they would have found a way to be firmly in the midst of like, okay, we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, thank God they were off.
It was a bye week. I was very grateful for the bye week.
Texas was also on a bye week.
Yes.
The biggest bye week win of all time.
100% it was.
When you look at the games today, anything stand out for you in today's games?
I like the Texans and the Patriots. It's gone back up to 7, so I like it a little bit less. When I was browsing this morning, it was still at 6.5. Rookie quarterback, I think it's a boost for the Patriots. But at the same time, no Stevenson. I think they're going to be a little bit on the one-dimensional side, and I just think that D'Amico is just going to dial it up and just be really aggressive on the defensive side. Just tell Stroud not to make a whole lot of mistakes, which he generally doesn't. Don't get too creative. Let's just get through this game. I could see 10, 14-point cover pretty easily. That being said, I know from a book's perspective, we're going to be all about the Patriots. Please get there.
Well, the Texans are what? They're 1-4 this year against the spread.
Yeah, and
so like they unless except for last week when it was a point, they don't cover at this point in the season.
Well, we talked about that on one of our previous visits. How I think that there was going to be a market correction. I think that if you were a Texans better last year, you did exceptionally well because I think they were really undervalued. I think that they were probably properly valued. And if you're getting the number, or if you're betting the Texans, generally you're getting the worst end of the number.
Yeah, is there anything to like the long term of a team that doesn't cover the spread ever? And is that like a characteristic of a team, or does that say more about how the team is perceived?
I don't think it's necessarily team perception. I think that's if you look at the numbers and what the traders set the numbers at. I just think it kind of you got to commend them. They can set it. They can set a good number. And obviously, the dialogue after a game is why can't this team cover? It's not ultimately about coverage. It's about winning or losing. But being able to so accurately pinpoint the number, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm wearing a Jamar Chase jersey. My Bengals are 1-4. It's 5 1-possession games, and the number has been there almost on point every single time. And you just occasionally they make mistakes.
Yeah.
And so I think that talking about like perception about teams covering against the spread, not against the spread. Yeah, there's some metrics there, but I just think it's a lot of like commentary. I don't. The number is what it is, and it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
The Bengals have one of the best offenses in the NFL this year. Are you having any thoughts on still looking at like their playoff odds right now? Because they're not out of it. I know they're 1-4, but it feels like they're not out of it.
I know they're 1-4,
but like
they're not.
But like this offense is so good. It just feels like
it's
that
a bunch
they can
of 1-possession games.
They
so
can exactly.
close,
They can just go on a massive run.
If you listen to a lot of like the dialogue about teams, like they're talking about the worst teams in the league, draft spots, and everything else, the one team that's technically at the bottom that nobody is talking about is the Bengals.
Yeah, they have like the number 2 pick in the draft as of this.
Yeah, and I'm seeing mock drafts with the Bengals at number 2, and I mean I'm just kind of like that's not happening. And do I think that will make the playoffs? I mean, we've set ourselves up for failure. If we beat the Patriots in week 1, 2-3, not sky is gray, doom and gloom, and everything else like that. I can stomach a loss to Kansas City. I can stomach a loss to Baltimore. And it turns out Washington might be really, really, really good.
They might win the division.
Yeah, but they still, if they can get through the Giants today, I still think they're going to play Cleveland twice. They're going to get Pittsburgh twice, which isn't going to be a pushover. But if you're talking about an offensive versus defensive team, I trust the Bengals to put up more points. I think they're looking like a 7 or 6 seed. Do I think they can win the division? Probably not at this point. I'm not closing the door on it yet, but I'm not as optimistic as I was in week 2.
Anything that stands out from the like when you see like a quarterback change like we're seeing today with Aiden O'Connell stepping in at quarterback for the Raiders, like is that a stay away in general when a team changes quarterbacks? Do you bet on those games? Do you I want nothing to do with this.
So like the Patriots game. So that's a quarterback change that I think that I think it's better for the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I still think the Texans are a better team. At this point with the Raiders, I think they're just experimenting and just trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. The problem is I think the Pittsburgh is a better run team organization, and they're going to complicate things. I mean, this kid's going to be coming in. I'm not sure how many starts he's had. If this is his first or not, it's not.
He had a handful last.
Yeah, it's putting them against the Steelers I think is just a bad idea. Kind of like I think Patriots should have started Drake May last week as opposed to this week. Yep. I don't want them going against a fortified defense that knows what they're doing, has an identity.
Is the most interesting game for you, and maybe from either a book perspective or just an NFL fan perspective, is it Baltimore or Washington?
Yes, and that to me is a betting stay away. That anytime I see an over-under in the 50s, I always kind of hesitant.
Don't worry, I already took the over.
You already took the over? Okay, because
I jumped on that grenade for you.
I appreciate that. My instinct is actually the exact opposite because once again, you have a rookie quarterback. Now, Washington has played exceptionally well. Daniels has been awesome. He deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Granted, it's early in the season. This is probably the first real defense he has played. Now, Baltimore is weak in the secondary. I do expect them to throw the ball a little bit more, but Washington has given up points. Baltimore's going to put up points. I think that Baltimore has a defensive line and defensive personality that can get in Daniel's face a little bit. But it's going to be an entertaining game. It's actually my must-see game of the week.
Yes. To me, it's the big play potential on both teams.
Yep.
That is what my thought. I don't think it will be like if you just look at how on schedule the offenses are. It's not going to be like, these are two teams that are going to score 30 points. It's oh my God, they just had a 60-yard touchdown and then gave up a 60-yard run to Derrick Henry, and then now they hit McLaurin on a line. Like I think it's going to be more. I think there is going to be an element of one-upsmanship against Lamar and Jaden. I think they can go toe-to-toe, and I mean Jaden's a running quarterback as well. He just hasn't had to do it as much as right now. I think there's big play potentials on both. Yeah,
I just ultimately think that Baltimore it's a big number for a reason.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw it. I mean, it's just so weird. You have a 4-1 team and they're 6.5 point dogs. I was just like,
Most of the time,
Okay.
whenever you see that number,
Yeah.
that should tell you something. I think the classic example was TCU and Georgia in the national championship game.
yeah.
They're like
And
20.
Yeah,
24
I told my boss, I was like, yeah, Georgia probably opened up as a 13-point favorite, and they was like 20 at first, and I was like, oh, so we need to go ahead and jump on Georgia now because this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
And would it surprise me if Washington kept it close or anything else like that? No, but I think Baltimore's the better team. Now, down the road, maybe we get a little bit better. Something good just happened? I can't see.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen touchdown again.
Nice.
Hey, look, 4 touchdowns today for Caleb Williams. That makes me feel a little bit better so far about what we've been dealing with this season.
And I also him saying that Washington's going to be a better team down the road makes me feel good about my.
No, you have that division bet. I like it.
We've never. I don't know if we've ever talked about this guy. He comes up all the time because he obviously used to play in Houston. But the Cleveland Browns quarterback. So obviously you're very familiar with the Browns, being a Bengals fan.
Him, yes.
Are you? Do you enjoy the downfall of Deshaun Watson?
No. I to say I enjoy the downfall of it, I think is a little bit personal or anything else like that. I mean, I actually don't have anything negative against the Browns organizations.
Okay.
If you were to say something about the Steelers organizations, that's an off-air conversation.
So that's your
your
number one team that you don't like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's the team I would probably badmouth the most. I think I'm more upset with the Browns putting up all the guaranteed money. And it puts the quarterback market in a huge dilemma. And, of course, it happens right before, as a Bengals fan, Joe Burrow gets his deal. They're like, oh, if you're willing to pay Deshaun Watson this money guaranteed, how am I not worth it?
Yeah.
The problem with the Browns is, like, I don't know what you do in this situation. It's a disaster, and you're going to eat a chunk of money no matter what happens, and the play is just not showing anything.
You got anything left?
No.
Just on the way out, we'll say thanks for the Astros to win the American League and the over.
And the over on their wins.
We're starting a new segment next. We're gonna rip up our tickets, and that we're gonna.
I mean, that's fine, and you can do that. And you can throw it in my face. I can't. I
We're
can't.
just
I would say Astros April and May was not my fault. The rest of the season, I was trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna go.
I mean, I thought we were gonna be coming here doing like much more playoff games and doing shows here during the playoffs. I can't believe it was only 2 games.
They ran into the Tigers.
I mean, and Scooball. I mean,
Gotta tip your cap.
That dude was
awesome.
amazing. I'm not a big baseball guy, but I started watching it more towards the end of this year. That guy was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, well, enjoy the day. I'm sure it'll be a busy one here, even though so we got the Texans. I guess last question. You mentioned the Commanders game. So are Texans getting the big screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Texans will be the focal point today.
I kind of was hoping the Commanders Ravens game was going to get the big screen.
I mean, I'm a local. I wish the best for Spencer Rattler. I hope he does well.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that on the small screen.
that makes sense. All right. Thank you, Matt, as always. Appreciate it.
No, thank you, guys.
It is the Bullpen broadcasting live inside ESPN Bet. LaBerge, Lake Charles.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
The Bullpen broadcasting live from ESPN Bet at LaBerge Lake Charles. I know Brian, it's time to share.
So during
As the Bears get an interception.
Yeah, no, this is not good, Joe. I'm on full tilt. As Sean said, I didn't have my readers on, and I was trying to game the system while you guys were talking to Matt in this last break. Bears were going into the third quarter break. I think it was second and goal, up by 11. I saw the line was plus 14. They're about to go up to 18, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in Bears minus 14, but accidentally hit the wrong button, and so now I've got Jags plus 14. Go Jags.
So did you? Was it a finger miss?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see it until I pulled the ticket out. I came here and I was just looking through them, and I looked down and saw Jags plus 14. It's like, no, that's not what I bet.
They are next to each other.
My heart sank.
Did you think the Jags are the home team? Because the Bears are the home team.
The Bears are the home team. Yeah, so, I don't know what happened. I don't have an answer other than buffoonery.
We need to review the tape.
Yeah, we do need to.
It's going to be a big week of practice.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's not.
Have either of you ever done that?
No.
Damn it. I knew.
Okay,
I was hoping Joe had, because I know Sean was going to say no.
I think
it's the right answer.
I think I have before.
Okay, all right.
But the problem was I think it worked out for me.
Did it?
I think
you placed the wrong bet, but it came through.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go Jags.
Well, Cole Kmet almost scored another touchdown.
Well, at least I'm starting Cole Kmet on my fantasy team.
That's true.
So.
All right, so we're gonna start this segment when we're here at LaBerge. Hopefully, when we're here next in November for 2 shows on the 16th and the 17th, we won't have to even participate.
Hopefully, we only have the segment.
Yeah, hopefully this is a one-time thing. But it's time to say goodbye. DJ Moore scored touchdown. You can just rip that ticket up now.
Yeah. I'll keep it for posterity's sake.
Just in case we need it for the next time we do a show.
For the kids.
Yeah, in case the next time we're here in November and when we win all of our bets, we need one ticket.
There we go. I'll hang on to
it. Time to RIP rip our bets. So let's see. Right here, I've got a live parlay that I went on last night. Ohio State, Oregon. Over 55.5.
That hit.
That part hit. The other part.
Oh, I just want it for people at home.
Wait, did that hit?
Yes.
Yeah, the over hit.
55.5?
Yeah, the over hit, I think.
It wasn't
39 to 38. You're right. But Ohio State lost.
And
then I had Ohio State minus 3.5.
Right.
That part did not win.
That's what.
So
it's time to Joe.
Wait, did I give you some hope right there?
Yes.
There was momentary hope. Wait.
I was like, wait a
minute.
minute.
This up.
I forgot which side I lost for a second there. It's early, okay?
No,
coffee's still kicking in. So we say goodbye.
Yes.
RIP.
RIP your ticket, Joe. It's gone.
See you later.
May the ashes be reminders of past failure.
Brian?
I'm going to go ahead and go next because mine is the same as Joe. I didn't have the parlay, but I also had Ohio State minus 3.5. And there were times in the game where it looked pretty good, but they fumbled the ball in 2 big spots. And Will Howard, not that it would have mattered, because they would have kicked the field goal if they had time.
Yeah, Will Howard was setting up for the field goal.
They would have kicked the field goal if they had time remaining. But Will Howard was the most buffoonery I've seen since I think it was Dak Prescott against the Packers.
49ers.
Was the 49ers? Okay.
In 2021.
Same situation, though, sliding down with no time left. RIP, my ticket. Ohio State minus 3.5. Did not hit.
I had a pretty good game, or a pretty good day.
You did have a pretty good day yesterday.
I mean, I took the underdog.
I mean, to be fair, I only have 1 ticket.
I'm tearing up one. Well, now 2.
I also
Jaguars plus 14.
I also ripped my other tickets last night.
That
before we decided we were starting the segment.
The truth comes out. So
4-1 in college yesterday. Just saying, if we're patting ourselves on the back.
So the ticket I have to rip up today, like I said, we did rip some tickets yesterday. As is that another touchdown?
Yeah, the DJ Moore one was not a touchdown, so Swift just scored.
Okay. I bet against, shame on me, I bet against BYU.
Never bet against the Mormons.
I am now 0-2 lifetime against the Mormons. Actually, maybe more if you add in like my
times you rejected them at your door.
yeah, my everyday life.
And then a Mormon beat you in basketball once.
I mean, maybe I don't know. There's probably a Mormon girl that's turned me down. I don't know.
Jehovah's Witnesses kicked my ass in basketball one time. That's a story. That's a story for another day. And broke my nose.
That might be a story for let's rip this
Yeah.
ticket.
Anyway, let's get to that one. No, the one I have to rip today, it's a parlay. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here.
Yeah.
Who can say? I also won a parlay as well. Syracuse -2.5. That hit.
Of course.
Looking good. Texas, Oklahoma under 48.5.
That hit.
Really not that
close.
much of a sweat.
No.
Ole Miss at LSU over 63. That did not hit.
That did not hit. No.
Therefore, I have to, with a heavy heart.
Oh, we got it right up to the microphone.
That's
was
real
well done.
Real producing right there.
Your talent today, Sean.
What do you guys got going on today? So we got I got a.
Well, I got Jags plus 14, Joe. Thanks for asking.
Do you want to rip that one right now?
I kind of do. I really do.
No, don't do it.
I'm not.
I know it's 35-10, but just
I
in
know.
case.
I know.
That's a Bears fan talking, by the way.
I'm not going to.
Who's like, I don't know. They might still lose this.
I'm saying they might get some garbage time touchdowns here.
I'm not going to, but I really want to.
Doug Peterson, okay.
He's not good.
Any chance
he's not good.
they're staying in London for a week? Any chance
he
they
stays in
say
London permanently?
No, Doug, you're going back to Jacksonville. Everyone else is staying here. Any chance they fire Doug while they're in London? That would be an awesome.
I mean, we already had one post-London firing with Robert Saleh and the Jets. I think you just to save on the plane ticket, you just you just let him coach one more game. What's the harm? I guess the harm is that he wins.
Shad Khan did give the sometimes
dreaded vote of confidence
to everybody involved, Trent Baalke, their GM, and Doug Peterson, the head coach. So, yeah, I don't think it's this week, but
if they lose to Drake May next week, it's over.
I would say right now
that's who they play.
Someone else coaching in Jacksonville next year is the heavy betting favorite, but I don't think it's this week.
Is it bad for the Texans? Does it really matter? Because it's Jacksonville.
No, aren't they 1-4?
No, I mean for next year.
Does
it's
it change the quarterback? Because if it doesn't change the quarterback, I don't think it matters.
Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Bill Belichick in 2025.
I'm not really either.
Honestly, you can make I mean, there is just an air of respectability that he'll bring to the
he hasn't drafted well, though. I mean, there was a lot of Tom Brady putting Band-Aids on his bad draft picks.
Yeah, I just mean more of the dumb stuff in game. They'll become a much better in-game product as opposed to the talent acquisition. That's more of a long-term thing than just 2025.
I realize I do have one more ticket to tear up.
Oh
no. Well, one part of this was good. It was a parlay, which I made the mistake.
That's so weird.
It's the vicious
It's
circle.
so weird that we all lost the parlay.
It's the vicious circle. Bears -4.
Looking good.
Great. Under 35 is
Bears have 35.
Is an RIP to this take. Hold on, Sean.
Yeah.
There we go. Right up against the microphone.
Think of the listeners.
That's what the only thing I have left today right now, at least, and that might change here at some point.
It's going to change.
Parlay.
Yeah.
What
a shocker! You're tearing up a parlay?
No. No. This is not.
Oh, you're going to place another one.
No, this is just what I have left for today.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about what we have.
I have a win for half my parlay, so I'm one of two. I'm halfway there.
What is it?
Bears money line.
You're good.
Let's not count our money.
You're good.
I think we're okay.
You're good.
Texans -7.
And by the way, it's back down to 6.5.
Is it back down to 6.5?
Yeah.
But yeah, I went a little Bears Texans action.
I've actually got a parlay too.
Hey guys, if you're listening, don't listen to us.
It's a vicious circle.
Should I go through my?
We're here to entertain ourselves.
Yeah,
and have
this is
fun.
entertainment only.
We're not here to make.
We like these stocks, but we're not financial experts. You should not take this advice.
And past performance does not indicate future results.
Yes, exactly.
I also have a parlay in the NFL games. It's anytime touchdown scores.
Okay, see, I like this.
This is going to be fun because you're live the whole day. You're live the entire early window at least.
I'm so live, and then maybe not at the end. Stephon Diggs, anytime.
Like it.
Find the end zone.
So it is Diggs, not Tank
It
Dell.
is Diggs.
Okay.
What I did was I'm doing a little bit of a fading fantasy.
Are you emotional
position.
hedging your fantasy team?
Not emotionally hedging, just.
Are these all players on your opponent's team?
And then I'm starting Dell, and
Okay.
and I don't have Diggs, so no way Dell scores a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown. Chris Olave, who I'm going up against in fantasy, anytime touchdown.
I like most of those.
Thank you.
Chris Olave.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I don't trust him.
But I am going against him in fantasy.
Yes,
so
it's an emotional.
He's gonna score 38 points.
Yeah, the logic is sound there. I've got a couple. I've got Texans minus 6.5. I was able to get it down at the lower line. I'm going with our man Lee Sterling. He gave this also to the Killer Bees on Thursday. Washington. He had it at actually Washington +6, and now Washington +6.5. So I went ahead and jumped on that.
Okay.
I unfortunately still have Jags +14, and then I put a why the hell not a parlay on a bunch of big home favorite. Well, actually, not every team's at home, but big favorites on all on the money line. I've got this is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. I fully admit up front, dumb. But Packers, Eagles, Texans, Ravens, all on the money line in a parlay.
Okay. All right, we'll take a timeout here. We're broadcasting live inside
Go
ESPN
Jags.
Bet at LaBerge, Lake Charles. They are driving a little bit. They just crossed the 50-yard line.
I'm going to need more than one, Joe.
When we get back, we'll talk about some of the college football action and some more Texans as well. It's the Bullpen here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hour 2 of the Bullpen here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, broadcasting live inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge, Lake Charles, hanging out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ESPN 975, and of course on YouTube at ESPN Houston. The Bears are up 35-10 with 8 minutes left to go and we're about an hour away from the Texans kicking off. Let's talk some college football, though. So you guys, Texas is by far the best team in college football.
What are you
They're
trying to do to us, Joe?
best team by a small margin. They just look, even when Quinn's not playing at his best, like they look so much better than everyone right now, it feels like.
Yeah, that's the, if you want to take the rosy outlook as the Jags drop a touchdown. If you want to take the rosy outlook on Quinn Ewers' performance in the Red River shootout yesterday, it would be that he by no means had a good game, and it after the first quarter didn't matter whatsoever for the Longhorns to win. And there's a lot of years where there's quarterback puts up that kind of performance in really any game that Texas is playing, not just Oklahoma. This isn't just a Oklahoma's down kind of thing. It's, when they're in the Big 12, like you play like that against Iowa State and you're in a scrap with Iowa State or with Oklahoma State or TCU. So I think the defense is really the thing that is, I guess, the most bankable thing with the Longhorns this year. And so what's going to keep them in all these big games that they hopefully have this year.
It feels like quarterbacking right now, the SEC's like pretty mid. I mean, we watched the LSU Ole Miss game yesterday with Jackson Dart and Nussmeier. There was a lot of mid quarterback play in that game.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in the Tennessee-Florida game. Wasn't a display of offense in that game. Nico certainly not trending towards winning you that Heisman bet.
They need to ban the too high safeties in the SEC.
I mean, Weigman was obviously great in their last game against Missouri, but I mean, he was a reason why he hasn't played in every game besides injury. So I think Texas, I don't want to put them in the category of they're by far the best team, but I think they have fewer questions to answer or things to prove going down the stretch. Now, I mean, that said, they've obviously got some tough games left. They've got to go on the road to A&M. Obviously, at the end of the season, Georgia comes to Austin this next weekend. So nothing's guaranteed, but I feel like, Sean, you mentioned the defense. The defense, I have a lot of confidence that basically every matchup they're in, the defense is going to be able to do enough to keep them in the game. They're not going to get their doors blown out. They've got enough skill players at wide receiver. Despite the injuries, they still have a lot of talent at running back. And they've got two quarterbacks that you feel comfortable playing. So they have fewer question marks than the other powerhouses right now.
Yeah, and this game of the 6 games they played now.
Yeah,
this is the one game with poor quarterback play out of the entire season. This is the only one where after the game it doesn't look good. The stat line doesn't look good. So their schedule's going to get a little bit tougher. Like you said, they play Georgia, they play Vanderbilt. They play A&M later in the year.
You guys, how do you think about that? What do you view Vanderbilt as now?
Like scrappy. Like you can't
sleep on them.
Yeah, you can't walk in there and win by 3 touchdowns. But I
trust their defense.
Are we on? We might be on like College Game Day at Vandy territory here for Vandy, Texas. I don't know what else is on the slate that day.
Without seeing the rest of the schedule, but
Vandy winning last week, winning this week again, and then they play Ball State this week, so they should definitely win that game. But like Texas, Vandy, has College Game Day ever been to Vanderbilt? I'm gonna guess the answer to that's no.
They
not
must,
even the Jay Cutler era.
Yeah, because now.
Oh yeah, that could
now
be.
Now they have like a list of places they haven't been, and it's like 5 places now. So because they knocked, I think, Cal off the list earlier this year. So
yeah, Cal was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, A&M. That's probably that might be.
That's game day. That's game day.
LSU at A&M.
Yeah, that's game day. I would feel pretty confident in that.
Unless Vanderbilt gets ranked.
Yeah,
they will be. They should be at least.
If Texas definitely hasn't booked their spot in the playoff, but it feels like with the 12-team format, it would be hard to imagine they don't get in at this point. Like they could afford a loss. I think they could even afford 2 losses and still get in it.
Well, they're already bowl eligible, so you don't have to worry about that. At the very least, they're going to the Texas Bowl.
Yes.
Shout
out to.
I actually don't know if they go to the Texas Bowl anymore because they're an SEC team.
No, I don't think they do. It's a Big 12.
Yeah.
No, it's Big 12 SEC.
Yeah, because when
that's right.
Missouri, they played Missouri.
Right.
I was at that
That's
game.
Right.
when the punter was the MVP.
Yes, Michael Dixon.
Gross.
He
was-
earned it, Joe.
I was there.
He earned it.
I was there. It's a waste of my time.
Yeah, it is interesting. It was a waste of your time. It is interesting. It was borderline a waste of my time, and I watched on TV. It is an interesting subplot with the 12-team playoff, and where I see it too is in the Oregon-Ohio State game. Which, by the way, Oregon probably deserves a mention in best team in the country
For sure.
conversations. They have the best win so far in the country. Maybe them or Alabama, but Alabama also lost to Vanderbilt, so never mind. You're not the best team in the country.
Yes.
But with the Big Ten, chances are, unless things get pretty wild, we saw the best two teams in the Big Ten play yesterday, and we're going to see them play again in Indianapolis in December. So that's another wrinkle of it, and that game is going to be for the bye. And what's interesting, Joe, is we talked about I think it was more in the context of like a Notre Dame kind of conversation.
Oh,
with being the 5 seed, and you are going to play the 12 in the playoff, and that's probably going to be the Group of 5 representative.
Yes,
Are we sure that's going to be the Group of 5 representative now? Because that might be an SEC or a Big Ten team with the way that Boise State's playing. They might be like the 9 seed.
Yeah, because right now, as it stands,
If they go into
like your top 4 would be what? It'd be Texas. It'd be Oregon.
Well, that's 1, 2.
It would be Iowa State and Miami would be your 4 bye seat. Your 4 byes.
Yes.
And then the next auto bid would be Boise State. Well, at the very moment, because we haven't seen this week's rankings obviously come out yet, Boise State sits at 17. They're gonna move up.
Yeah, we see it. I mean, we see it every year in the past rankings where the Group of 5 undefeated team, they'd always keep them kind of arm's length from the 14 playoffs, so they'd put them in the 8-9 kind of range. With
Cincinnati was the only team that ever made it, right?
Yes, but when it's a team like UCF, when they did it, I mean Boise State back in the day when it was the BCS, they were always kind of in that. Again, they keep them arm's length from the national championship game, so they'd be 4 or 5 instead of 1 or 2. So that's something just to look at where it's and this should be something that's evident because it's true in every other sport, I guess, in besides baseball where teams lose and complain about it. But in every other sport, you want the bye. And so that's why I always, with the college football thing where it's like, is the 5 seed better than being the 4 seed? I land on you just want the bye week after a long season, after playing 14 or 12 or 13 games. Just give me the week off. Give me in the bowl game. I know you want to host a playoff game, but you're going to be hosting against a top 10 team. And we just saw LSU just beat Ole Miss. We see teams go on the road and and LSU was at home, but we see teams that are ranked in the top 10 beat other top 10 teams on the road. We see it from time to time. So it's something to watch for.
You got to play for the bye because
it's like actually the buys aren't like after we spend all off season being like, are the buys that important? Now it's like
the buys are really like
we watch football and we're like, buys are important.
When you look at the schedule right now, I mean, obviously most teams are going to be playing the 12 regular season games plus possibly the conference championship game. You have that 13 games. You're in the first week without the bye. You get all the way to the title game. You're playing 17 games. You're playing an NFL schedule. So certainly that bye is beyond the effects of getting the free win. Just moving on.
Round.
Playing 17 games for a 19, 20-year-old is something they should look to avoid.
Yeah, Boise State is going to be interesting to see like how they move up the rankings because obviously not undefeated, but their only loss is a 3-point loss to the team that's now going to be the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, proves it was at Oregon and they only won by 3.
Yeah,
against
it's funny.
Group of 5 teams.
Yeah, because it's like the narrative is flipped on that game as it happened. It's like this is tough for Oregon. But now it's like, well, this is great for Boise State and it's good for Oregon.
Yeah, I think Oregon got knocked down like 5 spots in the rankings.
Yep, and then we were all wrong.
Now the win looks legit.
Elevated back up.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fascinating. I can't wait for the first television show when they do the college football playoff rankings. Just because I'm curious.
You said that last night.
I know.
And I cannot get down with. I'm interested for the college football reveal show.
Well, it's more like I just can't wait for the actual rankings to come out.
Yes, yes, I agree with you on that. I don't want to watch the TV show.
Yeah, I probably won't even watch. I'll probably be busy. That might be a soccer night
or
for me.
I'll watch it on mute. That's normally how I watch it. It's just like on mute or it's on in the room I'm in, and
Yeah.
I'm just like waiting for them to flip over the card for the entire time. Yeah.
All right, we'll have a guest coming up at 11:30, so we will move up Mount Rushmore +1. We'll do that next year on the Bullpen, broadcasting live from inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge in Lake Charles.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
All right, so the Texans, the line is now at 6.5. And Brian, that's what you said you got it at, right?
Yeah, I got it at
6.5?
6.5.
I'm trying to decide if I want to bet it by
Well, you've
itself
already got
now.
it. Yeah, you've already got it in a parlay.
I mean, I guess basically I do have it by itself since this Bears game is essentially over at this point. The other game that we talked about earlier with Matt, I know you were placing the wrong wager at the time, Brian.
Thanks. Which, by the way, still alive.
Yeah,
It's
not dead.
Wait, no, it's not. Okay, it's dead. No, the Bears are inside the 30. It's dead.
Well, this will put it 38-16. If they get a field goal here,
If they'll be.
23 would put it to 15 points.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
I'm in a lot of trouble.
I mean, what if they score a touchdown and go for 2? You never know. Commanders +6.5 versus the Ravens. What do you guys think about that game today?
I've got Commanders 6.5.
You do?
So I think the Ravens win. I definitely wouldn't have betted on the money line. The Commanders' offense has just been so efficient, and the Ravens' pass defense has struggled. I think the Ravens will move the ball without a problem. The Commanders' defense hasn't been bad, but I trust Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. I think they stay in that game and make it close.
All right, let's do it's that time. Let's do a Mount Rushmore +1 here.
Welcome in, Houston, to the best part of your weekend. Welcome in Lake Charles to the best part of your weekend. Well, unless you hit a big parlay. If you hit a big parlay, then Mount Rushmore +1 is not the best part of your weekend.
LSU, Oregon, Kansas State was the best part of my weekend. Sorry.
But for everyone else, the best part of your weekend, it is time for Mount Rushmore +1. And as a guest, Joe, I think
I got to go first again?
Well, you don't have to go first.
I'm going to have you go first today, Brian.
You want me to go first?
You
All
go
right.
first.
So I had one, but I couldn't find my 5. So I think I'm going to have to pivot at the last second.
Wow.
I'm going to have to pivot.
Do you have? I know you normally scroll a couple away. Do you?
Yeah. No. I've got plenty. Plenty. So the one I'm going with today is outdated terms that I like to find a way to bring back.
God.
Like words or terms.
Abigail, stay by the dump button.
No, this is not a Granado moment, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what to think about immigrants or something. This is not a Granado moment.
Careful. Tread carefully.
Tread careful. Yes. All right, so no, outdated terms in some of these, I'm not even completely sure I know what they mean. There's no way to know. I can't Google it, so there's no way to know. I'm not going to find out. But I think I'd like to try to find a way to bring them back into my everyday language here. First one is kind of a tie, but because I think they both units of measurement, but fathoms and leagues. I think fathoms is one of those is maybe nautical in some way.
I think leagues is nautical.
Leagues is nautical, but I think I want to
from my boating experience.
From your massive experience boating.
When I was a pirate in my past life.
I think next time someone asks me where something is, I want to be able to give that in a unit of measurement as fathoms or leagues.
Yes, there's another.
More for the confused look on their face when I tell them the measurement in either fathoms or leagues.
There's another phrase, and it's closer than leagues. It's more. Do you have another like?
Oh yeah.
Like where something is, and you.
No. None of the. Actually, one of these is kind of a
over yonder.
Oh, over yonder, yes.
Yes.
I feel like I got to be a little bit older to say over yonder.
Yes, I was going to say literally only my grandparents.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to say over yonder till you're 60.
Yeah, you need like another 15 years.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That was nice.
19
that
years.
Was nice.
19 years. Thanks, Joe.
You're being very polite there, Joe.
What?
I'd rather talk to anybody else.
Right now. Look, okay, let me help you, okay?
All right.
It was 4 years ago for blank, okay? So like
Thank you. I do feel a little bit better now.
There we go.
All right. Next outdated term I'd like to find a way to mix back into my everyday language, boondoggle.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to be able to describe things as a boondoggle. One thing that was a boondoggle, Will Howard last night. Boondoggle sliding down. Betting on Ohio State last night. Boondoggle.
My favorite bar to go to is called Boondoggle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, we're on to something here. Next one. I'd like to be able to describe something I have as having swaths of it.
Swaths?
I think that means like having a great amount.
Yes,
I think I'm on, again, no way to know. But I believe I'd like to be able to describe something I have as, how many of that? Yeah, I have swaths of it.
You have swaths of, cherry trees.
I'm not George Washington.
There's a guy.
Oh, is there a guy
in an agricultural situation? And so that's why cherry trees came
to mind.
I think those are apples, actually.
2 more. I'd like to be able to describe money I have as being in the currency of wampum. I think that would be, I think that's a currency at one point. I'm not sure how outdated that is. I don't know. I've just heard it. I've heard it in jokes, in comedy bits going back.
All I know is for Haverty's behind Brian right now is incredible.
Wampum?
The Bears missed the field goal.
Oh, am I alive?
But now Mac Jones is in.
Okay, I'm not live.
They're trying to keep you alive.
Unless the Bears defense takes their starters out, then I'm live.
Yeah.
Last one. I'd like to have, and this also I think also implies that I would have a great deal more of wealth. So I like what comes along with it. But I'd like to be able to describe a place in my house as being the parlor. I don't feel like you can be poor and have a parlor.
Yeah.
So coming with that is the added money to my bank account as well.
It's like having a salon.
Yes, exactly. So I'd like to bring back parlors into my everyday life.
I like that. All
right.
Aspirational.
I can go second.
Main event Mapes is no main event.
Of course. My Mount Rushmore +1 today is things that are worse than college kickers. Because it was a tough day for them yesterday.
Is there one?
Yes.
I guess we'll find out.
There's 5.
There's 5.
We'll be the judge of that, Sean.
First thing on my list, because I think it's stupid and it makes no sense, and it's the worst rule change we've had in sports. I hate the go for 2 overtime new format in
Oh
college
yeah.
football.
After the third.
The third, where like they
Or
just
no,
trade
After the second, you
After
have
the
to go for
second.
2,
Yeah.
and then third is rotating.
that part.
That
I
part.
think it's the worst thing in the world. It
the
was an
dueling-
overreaction because of one game that went like
LSU A&M,
7 hours.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely ridiculous. I think that's way worse. You're going to have 2-point conversions decide a meaningful college football playoff game at some point. Is absolutely insane. Should I put Mac Jones on my list real quick?
Weren't you at the LSU A&M 7 overtime game?
No, I was on the board.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you were on the.
Yeah,
How long-
and
how
he still stands by this. He still is okay with long football games.
How
Yeah.
long did that broadcast go?
I think it was like 8 hours.
Wow. Because
There
Aggies
was-
go the full hour for pre and post too.
Yep. It was,
They sure do.
It was a long, it was a-
Especially after big wins.
it
The
was a
post-game
long
show.
day. It's a long day.
Jimbo Fisher becomes hard to find.
This one I don't think is debatable. Houston traffic worse than college football kickers.
Yes.
It is the worst.
Because the thing with college football kickers is sometimes they make them.
Yep. Houston traffic's always bad.
Yeah. It's consistent though. You know what to expect.
Yes.
There's-
Every day. It's like
there's-
if college kickers never made kicks.
There's no sweat. There's no sweat in this. You're not sweating the outcome. You know when you get on 59 between like where Lakewood is and Minute Maid Park.
Yeah.
You're in for a joy. No matter what time of day it
That
is.
is a sweat.
Okay, I put the new NFL kickoff rules. I think are worse than
Yeah.
the college kickers.
Yeah,
Pretty bad.
I'm about
I
ready
like
to
'em.
call it. I mean, we did have a touchdown return on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think there's
Uh,
been 2 now this season.
yes,
One
there's-
last week and then one this week.
No, there's one week 1 and then one last.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, really just changing the game.
dynamic. It doesn't
yeah.
help that they obviously got talking points to call it the dynamic kickoff return, and then it's a touchback like 4% less often than it
Yeah.
used to be.
Okay, things that are worse than college football kickers. Someone that's very not funny that constantly tries to do dad jokes. Like someone like you're trying to force a dad joke into every single situation.
Are you adding anyone right now?
I mean, maybe.
This is a subtweet.
Maybe.
Who
maybe.
are we? Yeah,
Maybe.
bring this subtweet into the direct aggression. Who are we outing here?
I think you got a couple options on this station alone that
Oh,
go too far dad jokey.
Okay.
wow.
And
Sorry.
then my last one
I can't
here.
believe you say that about Paul.
My last one here is drinking so much you puke in public and your friend has to hold the trash bag for you, and then you have to
Yeah.
get escorted out of a sports book and wobble as you do it.
I don't know.
I mean, that's not a specific example. That's just in general.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just in general.
Yeah, I guess I should have changed it from sports book to just anywhere. But
I mean, you're not calling anyone specific out. Just in general when that happens. 'cause
yeah,
It happens so much, obviously.
yeah.
To defend this hypothetical LSU
Hypothetical.
fan
Yeah.
wearing a purple shirt yesterday.
Hypothetical.
This hypothetical
It
person.
could have been a yellow shirt. We don't know. Gold.
Sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it's a release.
A little puke and rally situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there. Like that's one of my go-tos. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm comfortable admitting I'm a rallier, but
Do
like
you-
I think the worst part was that also we had mentioned was the half the beer tower that was left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to
They
leave.
had to abandon it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you just cost yourself money.
Yeah.
Do you bulimia yourself to get that going?
It depends on how I'm feeling.
Okay. I also don't know if I used that correctly.
I think you did. I've never heard it used that way before.
You know what I mean, though, when I
Um,
say bulimia yourself.
Yeah, might get canceled for that one,
What?
man.
What? I
Like,
can't say bulimia?
well, you can.
I would cancel you over that.
Yeah.
No, I think
What's
Joe's a little
happened?
too sensitive here.
Just saying.
It's a very real
Yeah.
mental health struggle.
No, it just depends on how bad I need to rally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So still worse than college kickers, but not.
Still worse
I
than
mean, the
college
situation
kickers.
was worse than college kickers. Was that your
Yeah.
last one?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Time for my Mount Rushmore +1, and this is something we've been doing a lot here at Lake Charles. The Mount Rushmore +1 of sweats,
Oh, good one.
of things, situations, types of sweating, and actually, based off your last one, I'm just going to assume that guy sweat a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're sweating and you can lay down on a bathroom floor, that's very good. And that's also something I'm assuming that guy did
Yeah.
last night. But that
You're
is a
assuming he
good.
made it to his bathroom.
Yeah.
That was a great sweat.
the laminate bathroom floors.
Yeah, sweating on a laminated bathroom floor.
Yep.
Is good. That's a weird one to start off with. Normally, I like to build to the weird one. normally that doesn't go first, but since it is so relevant to our conversation, that's a good sweat. Next, Tavondre Sweat, former Texas Longhorn, current Tennessee Titan.
That's a good one.
He's a great sweat. He's better than Montez. He's better than Josh. Give me Tavondre as definitely the best sweat that's a human person.
Okay.
Colorado Baylor on September 21st here at LaBerge Lake Charles.
Not a good sweat.
Was
I don't co-endorse this.
For those who missed it, last time we were here about 3 weeks ago, I was on Colorado, wasn't Moneyline, and
I had Baylor minus 3.5.
Yes, and they're covering with the ease. They're up a
for a
touchdown.
long time.
They're up a touchdown with 4 seconds left, and then Shadur Sanders hit a Hail Mary, and then Colorado went on to win in overtime.
Oh, we just got another rip of tickets.
Jaguars plus 14, RIP.
That was a great sweat. The Baylor Colorado game featuring a Hail Mary and a fumble at the goal line by Baylor, forced by Travis Hunter. That was a great sweat. Another great sweat. Gonna Make You Sweat, Everybody Dance Down by CNC Music Factory.
Did you have to Google that? That had to come out before you were born.
No, well, it did. But it was something where I was like, I forgot if that's the name of the song or if that's a different song I'm thinking of. But I did have to Google Gonna Make You Sweat. And yes, it was the right song I was thinking of. Everybody Dance Now. That's a great sweat. I mean, that song gets you dancing, gets you sweating. It's a great song to dance to. Love it. Salute to the CNC Music Factory. I hope they're doing well today. Like 30,
probably making the county fair tour.
35 years after that song came out. And last but not least, it's in the same rail of Colorado Baylor. But my Oregon LSU Kansas State money line sweat from last night. I was talking about it with one of my friends. I think I was down at the 2-minute timeout for each of those games. I think the side that I needed was losing with 2 minutes left. They obviously they all come back thanks in part to Dylan Gabriel, in part to Will Howard, in part to Garrett Nussmeier and Avery Johnson and the Kansas State defense. What a great sweat here at LaBerge Lake Charles.
All right. Tavondre Sweat, number one.
Tavondre
Saw
Sweat.
him on a billboard on the way here.
Laying down on
the Dassman Law
Yes,
Firm.
yes, we did.
Yeah. It's still up there.
Yeah. I think I go laying down on a bathroom floor sweat.
Is that your number one sweat?
I think that's the number one. I
It's pretty
started
nice.
with it for a reason. Yeah.
You ever wake up on a bathroom floor? Not sure how you got there. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying, Joe, you say that like it has happened to you.
Yeah.
Once, but I don't know.
Joe,
My friends
we're
are
talking multiple
Oh no,
times.
I'm for myself.
Yeah, my friends were very nice. They even gave me a pillow.
Oh,
It was very-
wow.
a blanket like you're
No blanket.
like you're working overnight.
No, they just gave me the pillow, which I was like, guys, if you're giving me the pillow, you
I
might as
like
well.
the inside reference. No one got that outside of this table, but I appreciate
Well, here's
that,
the thing.
Sean.
We're about to go to break. We're going to make it a public reference. We had a one-time producer on the network that no longer exists bring a blanket and pillow to work.
Yeah, he was working overnights.
Yeah, he chose to take a nap.
Yes, I stand by because he was. This will surprise none of the listeners. He was later fired for that, and I stand by that. If he just fell asleep and didn't have 2 blankets because he had 1 blanket on the floor
Yes.
to lay on,
It
and then
wasn't
a
that
blanket
he fell
over
asleep. It was how he chose to
It's
fall
he planned
asleep.
to fall asleep.
Yes.
That's the
That
problem.
was the issue.
Yeah. So hope
You
he's doing
can't
well.
put 2 blankets down on the floor with a pillow and just go to sleep during your shift.
No.
If he just fall asleep in his chair like a real man. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
All right, it is the Bullpen.
But he would have been.
Broadcast.
Yeah, he would have been fired.
It's the Bullpen broadcasting live from ESPN at LaBerge in Lake Charles.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
The Bullpen broadcasting live from ESPN Bet inside LaBerge, Lake Charles. Bears game is over. That's a victory on the day for me. Hopefully the Texans will cover the other half of this parlay I got going. But
Come on.
NFL action about to kick off here, and Pedro Muniz, multi-asset GM, joins us here. What's up, man?
What's
How you been?
up, guys? I'm good. How y'all been?
Doing pretty good. So I think last time we had you on was like 2 weeks before the ESPN Bet rebrand and launch happened. So how's it gone so far?
Man, things have been really, really good, man. I think obviously when you got the worldwide leader in sports, you get kind of that great recognition, that name recognition, and people have been gravitating to us here since we did the ribbon cutting. It was a pretty cool event. I know you guys were out here for that too. So we've been excited. The people have been excited, and here we are on a Sunday ready to watch some Texans ball up, man. It's going to be good.
So coming up here shortly, it's Halloween. It's going to be a fun night. It's not just, you got, I'm sure, a costume party, but also be a Texans game that night. Texans Jets that night. So what's coming up at, here, the property for Halloween?
Super cool ideas we got going on, man. If y'all can make it out, we've got a Halloween party going on outside near the pool, and Johnny Sanchez patio is kind of going to be where the main event's at. But we'll have some live entertainment outside, Halloween costume. So those who are creative, go ahead and start working on that now. It'll be the 26th, Saturday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
We'll be out there. We'll have live prizes, $600 for first, $400 for second, $200 for the third best costume.
Nice.
So we'll be voting on site and announce those winners that night. Let's come out and have a good time.
Well, what are we looking for here? Most creative?
Yeah, I think so. I think so I'm one of the judges, right?
Okay.
So it'll be myself and a couple of the other managers here. But I think that's what we're looking for, kind of those do-it-yourself type of deals. I know my sister always gets real into kind of making her own deals. So we'll look for that. Who put it together, who had some creativity behind it, and maybe some of your basics can win something too.
I mean, not to put you in the spot here, Pedro, but do you have any ideas for your own costume? Are you? I mean, you're a judge, but you got to represent as a judge too. You got a costume in mind?
Man,
a couple weeks out.
So we talked about the DIY, right, and the do-it-yourself, and I seen something really cool where it's like a guy made this deal where he's like inside a box, but like a fake person's holding him. It looks like it looks like he's being taken away. I'm like, I could really do that, man.
I've seen something like that too with like where it's like an alien.
Yeah.
Where that looks like there's like an alien like kidnapping him. Like,
exactly.
Funny. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
So if I were to do something that night, it would probably be something cool like that.
Nice.
Awesome. So obviously a lot of great food out here. I think Joe and Sean and I are all looking forward to the barbecue buffet here in a little bit. Tell us some about some of the new menu items and the barbecue and the things you got going on here from Chef Lyle.
The barbecue's been so good. You guys all know Chef Lyle, man. He's always back there thinking of something different. But the barbecue we've been running, get it while you can. We're looking at probably cutting that off here at the end of the month. So you got a couple weekends to come out, enjoy some football, get some barbecue tailgate going. And then on the new menu, he's put some really cool stuff on. Excuse me. Really cool stuff on there to kind of, make it more so like that game life feel. You're at the game. So, man, he's got these towers of sliders.
Yep.
Joe's had one.
Yeah, we did the slider tower, the normal burgers last time.
Yeah.
No more of the Death Valley, huh?
That was me.
We're not messing with that no more?
I had it the one. I'd be willing to do it again. I would.
Chef Lyle
I would
bring out a Death Valley tower.
You know what? I'll walk back there when I get off and I'll have it done.
If it's bought out, I will partake.
Are we gonna do it?
I'll do it.
Oh,
I'll do it.
I like that.
We can get some.
As long, look, I'm a little bit of a softball. You also have to bring me a glass of milk. But
I got your milk, brother. I got your milk.
I like that.
But it's so good, man. He's added some really cool stuff. The Wagyu hot dogs are on there now, and
that sounds good.
A couple different appetizers. Really, everything's kind of zoned in to kind of quick eats again, like you're at the ball game.
Yeah.
So he's been working really hard. Him and his team back there. We're excited about.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I have a really hard time changing what I eat here now.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm addicted to the hot honey sriracha.
Oh man.
Wings. I got the tenders yesterday. A little easier to eat for me.
Same sauce.
Same sauce.
Oh,
it's so good. I'm really like I think I might have to do it 2 days in a row.
Oh, you're having them again.
I'm like
breaking news.
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, they're so good.
Man.
It's like my favorite wing sauce I've ever had.
So I
It's
would
incredible.
try that out. So since you've done the wings, you've done the tenders.
Yeah.
We've got the honey badger chicken sandwich.
I saw that
you can
too.
get the
Yeah.
sauce
and
on
you
the
can
sandwich.
take whatever sauce you want on
Okay.
top of that
Oh, I
sandwich.
guess we're getting a sandwich today. That's what we're doing.
You know, and that's the cool thing about it. It's all mix and match. Everything blends, man. So you want tenders, you want your traditional wings, or you can put it on a chicken sandwich, man. We got it how you want it.
What's your go-to?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
the
not,
honey badger sandwich.
the honey badger is my number one. His BLT is really, really good. And then, man, I'm a sucker for the fried shrimp tacos. I could eat them.
Ooh.
I could eat them every
that
single
sounds pretty
day.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shrimp tacos always that's one of my I see them on a menu anywhere, and I'm kind of
And we got them, and I say, man, I can have Sanchez anytime, right?
Yep.
And then they've got some
I
killer
had Sanchez
tacos.
this morning. The chicken and waffles pretty legit.
Oh man, so good. That's what you had?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's a big plate. Oh yeah. So, but even though with that, I'm like, man, Lyle's tacos, I gotta have them. So
yeah. He's great. I love having him on. I love his food. It's always it's one of my favorite things about coming here. It just it just enhances the sportsbook experience so much when you have
100%.
great food, because you might lose every bet you place,
Man,
but you're eating well,
are you
and
guys?
that's what matters.
Are y'all struggling with fantasy?
I mean, this
some
year's-
leagues,
it's
some
been-
leagues.
It's just so tough because there's so many injuries this year.
Unbelievable.
It's like
My most expensive lead, I made the mistake of drafting Patrick Mahomes because for some reason he could be the best quarterback in football, but not good in fantasy. So I'm struggling there.
I feel like this is the last year I'm ever gonna pick them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm out. I'm out.
done.
I'm out.
Yeah, but then you compound the injuries, man. From Mixon to Pacheco to Ross. I
Yeah.
had them all. Rashi Rice.
Yeah.
I try to do
In our
that.
league together, I have Tua and Pacheco.
Both
And
done.
I'm just getting A.J. Brown back, who was out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
kind of crazy seeing how many guys go down every week, man. It's really wild.
Especially now with the bye weeks. I got one where I've got 4 running backs on my roster. I got both Dolphins running backs, Achane and Mostert, so they're on a bye week.
Yeah.
My other 2 starting running backs both hurt this week, so I had to dip into the waiver wire.
Tell them who you're starting.
I started Roshan Johnson, which did not go well.
Yeah.
And then
I thought about
who's the Jets running back? Not Brees Hall.
Oh, Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen. So it's been tough. How was the we talked to Courtney about it last time we were here. But how was the fantasy football everything this year?
Man, it was super cool. We had a lot of groups come in and do it. A lot of people took advantage of kind of the space that we lined out throughout the property and kind of jumping in on the cabana deals and doing their live drafts. We were really thrilled with it, man. A lot of people showed up to do that, so we're hoping to see everybody again next year.
Yeah. How early is too early to start booking for next year?
We didn't really start to see it pick up until kind of that mid-July.
Okay, so you got people got time.
Because I don't know about y'all, I like to do the draft for my leagues like late.
Late as it can get. Yeah.
Preseason's over. It's like the last day to do it. I know who's hurt, who's not hurt, who's been cut. So we saw it pick up pretty late towards the end of the draft season.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that next year, where maybe that first weekend of college football,
Oh yeah.
where it's there's no NFL yet. It's that week between preseason and the NFL.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect weekend to come out for college football, do your fantasy football draft. Same time, we might have to do a show and
with
do
the
bring
worldwide leader in
crew out.
sports, man. Where else would
Yeah.
you want to do it
Of
at?
course.
Come on.
Before we let you go,
Man, I appreciate y'all giving me the time to do that today. I wanted to wish a happy birthday to my very beautiful daughter, Mackenzie. She'll be turning 9 years old today. So happy birthday, sweetheart.
awesome. 9
Happy
years
birthday
old.
to Mackenzie.
Awesome.
My son turns 4 in
It's crazy how fast
in
it
March.
goes, right?
It's crazy.
Unbelievable, man.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. You don't
Yeah.
see it until you watch someone else's life, right?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm dealing with soccer. I'm a
Oh, yeah.
soccer
He's a
dad.
coach.
Oh, you coaching, brother?
It's
Coach
tough,
Joe.
bro.
Oh, yeah. They're
It's
coaching them
tough.
4-year-olds.
Well, they're 3.
It gets
so,
better. It gets better.
I told the story. I've got 8 kids on my team. There's only 1 kid that doesn't listen.
Guess which one it is?
It's
It's my kid. It's my kid. It's the worst.
I'll tell you a secret now. As he grows up, man, he's never going to listen
Yeah.
to you as a coach.
Yeah.
My boy will listen, and he does whatever his coaches tell him. I say one word, and it's like,
Nah, you know
nah,
what you're talking
bro,
about.
you don't know what's going on.
All right. So coming up 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. October 26th, the
Yep.
Halloween party.
Over on the Sanchez patio. Come
All
and
right.
see us.
Come check it out. Always stop by Sanchez while you're here. It's great food. Last time we were here, 2 times ago they brought us tacos.
We brought some tacos
Yeah,
from
it was
Sanchez.
it was absolutely excellent.
Love it.
Thank you, brothers. Always appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, it is the Bullpen broadcasting live from inside ESPN Bet at LaBerge and Lake Charles.
The Bullpen live from LaBerge Casino Resort continues. Now back to the mobile Veritex Community Bank Studios with Joe George, Brian McDonald, and Sean Mapes.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back in. Last segment today here on the Bullpen. Brian McDonald, Joe George, Sean Mapes with you here live at the LaBerge Casino in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And it's time now to end the show, as we always do, with our worst people in sports and what we love from sports. We're going to start off with a little bit of anger. We got some of our anger out tearing up our lost tickets. Certainly we could give our worst person in sports to all the people who cost us those tickets. In fact, I will start off with someone I don't think Sean cares much because he was on the right side of history last night in Oregon, Ohio State.
I think Will Howard did a good job taking care of the ball.
But my worst person in sports this week is Will Howard. And now I wouldn't have won my bet regardless because they would have lined up.
I mean, he's a pro now.
NIL, Sean.
He was up late last night studying for OChem. I'm sure.
That's very optimistic of you. But yeah, Will Howard going full Dak Prescott for the playoff game of a couple years ago. I believe they had, I want to say it was 6 seconds left when the play started, no timeouts. He doesn't even take off on the run until there's like 2 seconds left on the clock, and yet he somehow thinks Ohio State education maybe is in question, or Kansas State education may be in question here. But it slides down as time expires. Joe, you found the still shot of it. Mm-hmm. He's sliding down as time expires with no timeout. Will Howard is my worst person in sports this week.
I think they're going to have to start working on this like at every college campus in the country, because you have the Nico Iamaiva play the week before where he runs out of bounds as time is expiring.
Right.
And then Will Howard this week, it's just like,
I don't know if there's a fix. I think I mean, like I said last night, at least Nico's 20 years old and made that mistake.
Quarterbacks, am I right?
Well, also freshman quarterback. Like,
at least Nico's a freshman. Well, I don't know Will Howard's explanation
starting his like 5th or 6th game in college. Yeah, Will Howard. You should know better, but honestly, good job.
Yeah, you didn't care. You didn't care. You didn't even need it. All right, what are you guys' worst person in sports this week?
I need it for the money line. My worst person in sports this week, and I don't know, feel like a lot of people would agree with me. A lot of people that normally disagree with me would agree with me on this. Worst person in sports, Brent Venables.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah.
You
suck.
you just suck. Yeah. Although Sean, we shouldn't beat this drum too loudly because I think for our own selfish rooting interests, we want Brent Venables to be employed at Oklahoma.
Give him another recruiting class. Brent Venables, this is from CJ Fogle. Brent Venables was asked about the gap between Texas and Oklahoma on the field was alarming. Brent Venables, quote, "I don't know."
That's all he said.
Texas has outscored OU 113-37 since Brent Venables became the head coach at.
He was the head coach for 49-0.
Sure was.
I forgot that he was the coach for 49-0.
Yeah, that's tough.
Honestly, and this is something I'm going to talk about tomorrow on the Killer Bees, but Sean, you and I talked a little bit of a tease. Spoiler alert: 4:15 tomorrow. But Sean, you and I were talking about this, I think, right after the game. That was the worst Oklahoma offense I've seen in my time of watching the Red River Shootout. Now, I know there was a game 2 years ago where they literally did not score.
Yeah.
And yesterday they scored 3. So marginal difference. But there was no time in that game where I thought the true freshman they're putting out there, Michael Hawkins, could throw past 3-4 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It was dump off to the flats to a running back, or he would try to scramble, and most of the time Texas chased it down for a minimal gain.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was all they had.
It's definitely the worst plan that they've had going into a game.
Yeah, well, or it's just they know that's all they can do.
Like, I'm saying like our plan is, oh my God, we're screwed. Like the 49-0 game, like their quarterbacks got hurt in that game.
Yeah,
they didn't have a backup.
Excuse.
Yeah, and they obviously had Rattler and Caleb leave the year before, transfer out the year before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was the worst one where they're like, here's our guy. Michael Hawkins.
Yeah,
not the guy.
I'm still surprised they didn't make a quarterback change. Honestly, the more we thought about
I kind of think Jackson Arnold might be doing the I'm redshirting for the rest of the year to preserve eligibility.
Gotcha.
Transferring.
Makes sense.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can see that. Joe,
even though this man has denied his cause in the firing of a coach, just because he annoys me always. Aaron Rodgers.
This
Worst-
feels like a Hall of Fame worst person in sports this
ooh.
week.
Yeah.
He's joining Paul Pierce.
Paul
with
Pierce.
the
Paul
jersey in
Pierce
the
is the
rafters?
only jersey in the rafter right now. Yeah.
Why is Paul Pierce up there?
Mostly because of
Josh Vance.
Josh Vance. Put him in.
Probably
put him-
had him like 3 times a month. Would have him as a person.
There was some podcast Paul Pierce would show up on and annoy Josh to no end, and he would
Gotcha.
mention him during the segment.
I was like, I know he got fired for putting strippers on Instagram
No,
Live, but like,
no, he was best person in sports probably that week.
That was a pat on the back.
Yeah.
but yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe a word he says when he's like, yeah, he said Woody Johnson called him just to make sure his ankle wasn't broken, basically, and to make sure he was doing okay on Monday night. And then Saleh was mysteriously fired the next day. But as soon as he pulled out the card of when he was like, I played catch all training camp with Robert's son, and tried to pull the sympathy card, I was like, this guy's full of crap.
Hey,
like, there's no way he did not say, Robert Saleh should be fired. So
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
The timing is just so hard to deny.
Yep.
We forget these guys have families, and Robert Saleh has like a big family.
He has
too.
7
Does he?
kids.
Yeah.
He has
7 kids.
Yep.
Yeah. So like honestly, playing catch with one of them, who cares?
Yeah. What about the other 6 kids? Okay,
You know
Aaron.
what?
Like,
Right. You know, Aaron, until you're playing catch with more than half of his kids,
It's
I don't believe you.
it's diminishing returns, is what it is.
Oh, man, I guess it doesn't say a lot about Robert Saleh's other kids.
Yeah.
Apparently,
And
only,
I feel like
only one wants to listen to Aaron Rodgers talk about chemtrails conspiracy theories.
I feel comfortable getting these off because you two both have one each. So
One each,
yeah.
One and done, Sean.
Yeah,
One
so-
and done.
So when you run up the score, I feel like I can talk a little bit.
All right, so that'll do it for the Anger Sharks out here in Lake Charles. I'm gonna throw out some other local names here and see if I can
Gross
pander a little bit.
pandering.
Preen Lake, as I'm looking at Google Maps,
Okay.
and Sean, the river was
Shout out to Preen
Cal-
Lake. We got
Calic-
Preen Lake in the house.
Kalikasoo River.
We got
I don't know.
Kalikasoo in the
I
house.
don't know if I pronounced
Make some
that correctly.
noise. Cali-
No Anger Sharks though in Lake Charles. In Lake Charles,
Anger Gators.
is no, because there's no Anger Sharks. Sean, Joe, Angry Gators. No, all the Angry
'Cause the gal
Gators
that
are right
teeth
now
don't
in
have a
are
toothbrush.
washed up in Tampa because of the hurricane. I saw that headline from Barstool. Apparently, alligators washed up everywhere in Tampa.
dude, the one where
Bad
like
time to be in Tampa.
the guy like walks into his kitchen and there's
Yeah.
there's like a foot of water. He opens his kitchen door and there's just like a big ass like gator just like hanging out. And then Paul said like there was one in their car. like the window broke and the gator was like just like chilling in the back seat.
I'm just saying, if you're in that situation, the gator now owns your car.
Yes.
You just walk away.
Yeah.
100%.
Just walk away.
wait for him to leave.
Sell it.
Sell
Yeah.
it. All right, but no Anger Sharks in Lake Charles. It's instead the Sea of Tranquility, where we will talk about what we love from sports this week. And what I loved has audio here that Abigail will play for us here in just a second. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was during the storm coverage of the hurricane that just hit Tampa. And what this weatherman you're about to hear in his report about the hurricane, again, while all Tampa's trying to hear this report if they have power, find out what's going on, he decides to take a little side shot at the Atlanta Falcons.
You might still be in the eye right now. There's a lot more to go. I think back to, the Atlanta Falcons first half Super Bowl winner. We know what happened to the second half when the Patriots came back to life. So do not sleep on the second half.
I appreciate the strays in the shots.
Uh,
I appreciate it. I love the fact that he got that in there. The pettiness, the
Yep.
strays. Probably hates the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if there's a Florida Atlanta thing going on, but
Tampa.
I love the pettiness that during the weather report about Hurricane Milton, he's like, you know what? Matt Ryan needs to catch a stray here. Kyle Shanahan needs to catch one here. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Good job, weatherman.
100%. I loved it. It was
Imagine sitting in your living room, worried about your family, or you're in Atlanta watching it, worried about your family in
Hey!
Tampa. What the hell? That happened a decade ago.
It was 2017.
What are we talking about?
What'd you guys love from sports this week?
Well, to be honest with you, my week's already a win. Caleb
You
Williams
love the Bears.
he threw for 4 touchdowns today. I'm very
Yeah.
happy already. So
That was predictable.
I'm gonna say
bear down.
Notre Dame, Bears. No, let's get a win here. We need some wins. We need no more ripping tickets. That's what we need today,
Ooh,
right now.
I like
So that's
like
what we
those.
need right now. But I'll take Caleb Williams and the Bears right now. Starting Sunday off strong.
thing I loved in sports this week: Steve Sarkisian after the Red River Shootout. Or let me take it back before the Red River Shootout.
You got a little backstory here?
Yes, there's a famous corn dog stand at the Texas State Fair, Fletcher's Corn Dogs, who got the most promo I've ever seen corn dog stand get. Which now that I say it out loud, not saying
There's
a lot.
only one corn dog stand that gets promo every year. Yes.
Yeah,
What other corn dog stand gets promo, Sean?
I don't know. That was something in my head that sounded more meaningful than when it came out. Brent Venables said on eating a corn dog, if Oklahoma beat Texas, if we get a W, I'll have one. In the post-game press conference, Steve Sarkisian walks in with a corn dog and says, I got my corn dog, y'all.
Good
I
move.
love it.
Good move.
Great move.
Well
Great
done,
move.
Steve Sarkisian. All right, well, that will do it for the bullpen for this week. Thanks to Abigail back in Mission Control in Houston for keeping this thing on the rails. Thanks to Joe. Thanks to Sean for being out here with us. Thanks to Pedro and Matt Holland from LaBerge joining us early in the show. We will be back, Joe, in mid-November.
Yes, we'll be here for Saturday the 16th and the 17th for 2 shows.
2 shows.
Two
So
shows.
for Sean, for Joe, for Abigail back in the studio, I am Brian McDonald. Thank you for listening to the bullpen. We will be back next week. Have a good weekend, Houston. Go Texans.